Hi, I'm Erin, and I say stuff. And I received a great comment from a user regarding wanting to be a better example of emotional regulation for their 4-year-old kid. And I want to say, to start with, 4 years old, what a great developmental sweet spot you're at. Um, Kiddo at 4 years old has developed finally the ability to understand that other people think differently from themselves. So they're open to philosophical conversations about why you think the way you do. They're also at a sweet spot where they still want to be part of the tribe, they still want to be part of the family unit, and still regard you as the higher authority and example than their peers outside the family unit. And they're also at a spot where they've developed the ability to use language and really communicate their needs and their observations to you. So it's a really fun, sweet age. So let's dive into the emotional regulation part. That comment was left on a video about New Year's resolution to admitting to being wrong. And admitting to being wrong is a great start to our ability to emotionally regulate. So when we find ourselves going off the rails, we can course correct easily without having that ego or overbearing pride that says you can't be wrong, you can't step back from what you're doing and apologize. So I had as an example an authoritarian set of parents who really seemed like they would hulk out anytime they had an issue that they wanted to control, and they just kept bullheadedly, going toward their desire to control. It didn't really ever work out, and it drove us apart, frankly. That's not what you want to do at this age. You really want to set yourself up as a person who is safe to come to and who really can give a sound example of adulthood. So, emotional regulation is a great place to start. I know that when my stepkids would help me notice that, they would say something like, "Hey, Erin, you're being mean." It was a great time to stop and say, you know, you might be right. I might be mean on this. So let's stop and take inventory. So if we notice that our emotional state is becoming dysregulated, if someone else helps us notice, or if we notice ourselves, stop, take inventory. There's an acronym, HALT, HALT, that we can use to guide our inventory of this. Number one, am I hungry? Being hangry is, such a huge, like, it's a trigger for arguments between spouses. It's a trigger for parents to be mean to kids, for coworkers to be mean to each other. Just, stop, ask yourself, is this happening to me? Am I hungry? Okay, maybe not. Am I angry? Now we'll dive into anger a little bit more, because anger is usually not the root emotion when it comes to our state. It's usually just the expression. So, or if we're angry, maybe it's because we're disappointed or we were actually very fearful. But consider that, are we angry, and why? um, and then also the L, are we lonely? Sometimes loneliness can express itself in irritability. And T, are we tired? Sometimes tiredness can express itself in irritability. So going back to that, hey Erin, I think you're being mean. Well, let's consider it. What time is it? It's 11:30, kids, and you guys have been bickering a lot, and I've been trying to get you guys to calm down, and now I'm to the point where I'm just going to pull this car over and smack both of your bottoms. But that's not really going to help anything, so stop. It's 11:30. We're all hungry. We're all irritable. We're all on edge. You guys have been, you know, just being bickering little brothers, and it's been getting on my nerves, and I recognize that. So I'm going to take a breath. We're all going to take a breath. We're going to go have some lunch. If we need to have a nap afterwards because we're tired, let's do that. But nobody needs their bottoms beat. It's not going to teach any lessons. It's not going to resolve any issues. It's not going to leave anybody with any better feelings. So, maybe can I apologize to you? Can I say I'm sorry for being such a jerk because I'm hungry? I really do love you. I didn't mean to be a jerk. Can I have a hug? I'm feeling like maybe that'll calm me down. And that's a great example that we can set. Conversely, we can get carried away and we can Hulk out. But if we stop, if we can admit to being wrong, we can course correct. And we can become that great example of emotional regulation. So next time you're feeling like kiddos are getting on your last nerve, try halting. Check it out. Check in with your body. See what's going on. Now, I will say that sometimes that tiredness is just from the kids being, on your very last nerve all dang day. And that is full well, perfectly acceptable to admit. Sometimes those kids are just getting on your last nerves and draining your energy. And, the consequence for that, Love and Logic's method for getting your energy back to you is that the kids have to do something to put your energy back. They've drained your energy all day and you were going to go mow the lawn or weed the garden bed or whatever it is that, they've just drained your energy and you can no longer do it. So they need to do it for you, put your energy back into you. And that's a great example of how to regulate their bodies as well. Sometimes, if you check in and they're full of piss and vinegar and energy and you just need to drain their energy and put it back into yourself, it is fully acceptable to ask them to do something to put it back into you. I hope this helps. And leave another comment. I'm loving it. So happy parenting.